Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. Nahmaduhu wa nusalli ala rasulihil kareem. So now moving on to the next type of tabi'. We have the adfun nasaq. Okay. So adfun is called nasaq. Nasaq means to match, for one thing to match the other, to go in tandem. So adfun nasaq meaning an adf with a harf adf, basically. That's called adfun nasaq. So usually we say adf, usually mean adfun nasaq, and then we mean adf bayan, we then explicitly say adf bayan. You following? Wa adfun nasaq يكون للأغراض التي تؤديها أحرف العطف. عطف النسق occurs, takes place for those purposes or for those meanings which the حروف of عطف give. كالترتيب مع التعقيب في الفاء. For example, the particle فا gives ترتيب and تعقيب. And I discussed that short in detail. ومع التراخي في ثم. Okay? Now that's all he says, and it's not much more detail in here, is it? But I want to go through this in detail, so get ready. Okay, so the first thing is wow. Okay, this comes in Nahwa, but it's not always discussed so deep in Nahwa. So we'll go through it as much as possible here. So we finish this off and put an end to this discussion. So ammal wow. So wow, what's wow? Wow does not show tartib. What is, for example, if you have ja'a zaydun wa amrun. Okay, what does that mean? That is a verb. Ja'a yaji'u maji'an. So the verb or the action of maji' occurred on, who carried out maji? Zayd and Amr. So those who carried out maji. But there is no explicit mention of who came when. It doesn't mean Zayd came first. It doesn't mean Amr came second. It can be opposite way around. There's no explicit mention of the distance or the time between the two of them. He could have come very early, he could have come very late. All wow does is to join two things, the ma'tuf alayh and the ma'tuf together, without any other implications. Okay? Do you understand? Make sense? Right. However, it does not mean that it can't have tartib. What it does mean is that there's no specific or explicit mention of tartib. It can be tartib. For example, like it says in the Quran, إِذَا قُمْتُمْ إِلَى الصَّلَاةِ فَاغْسِلُوا وُجُوهَكُمْ وَأَيْدِيَكُمْ إِلَى الْمَرَافِقِ وَامْسَحُوا بِرُؤُوسِكُمْ وَأَرْجُلَكُمْ إِلَى الْكَعْبَيْنِ. So it's in order, isn't it, wuzu? You got it? So yeah, it goes in order. But wow itself does not have to mean order. From other contexts, from the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam ahadith, we can tell that yeah, this is the right order. Okay? Sometimes it is no order. For example, آمَنَّا بِاللَّهِ, we believe in Allah. وَمَا أُنزِلَ إِلَيْنَا, what came and what was revealed upon us. وَمَا أُنزِلَ إِلَىٰ إِبْرَاهِيمَ, what was revealed to? Who came first? مَا أُنزِلَ إِلَىٰ إِبْرَاهِيمَ يَا مَا أُنزِلَ إِلَيْنَا. Exactly, so there's no order here. Because wow does not explicitly state this. Wow is flexible. Do you understand? Okay, then between Ibrahim and Ismail is an order. Between Ishaq and Yaqub there's an order. Then Asma comes after that, Musa, Isa is an order. But after Isa, Isa is the last prophet, obviously before the Prophet ﷺ. So, Uti Nabiyyu min Rabbihim should have come before. We get what I'm saying? So, wow does not explicitly, you cannot do between istidlal and say, look, Ma'tuf alayh is first. That means it has to come first in realistic order, in the real words. No, that's not the case. You understand? You got it? So, that's wow. Fa. What's fa for? Fa shows tartib and ta'qib. What does tartib mean? Order. That yes, when you have fa, it means the ma'tuf alayh occurred first, and then the ma'tuf, or the ma'tuf alayh then the verb first, and the ma'tuf alayh then ma'tuf done it afterwards. So example, if we say ja'a zaydun fa amrun. Now for sure we know who came first? Zayd. And then who came? Why do we know it's order? Because fa shows tartib, then. That's why we translate in English as what? Then. Do you understand? The second word we have here is ta'qib. What does ta'qib mean? That there's no muhla or there's mudda qariba. Do you understand? What is it? There's muhla or no, there's a mudda, there's no muhla, bighayri muhla, it immediately occurs immediately. Or the distance, or not distance, the time between the ma'tuf alayh and the ma'tuf is relatively small. But it's relative now, very subjective. As I think I mentioned before to you. You go 100-meter race. And somebody does it 9.7, 9.8. Somebody does it in 10. That's a lot of time, isn't it? Like almost like 0.2 seconds off. So relatively, that's what? A long time off. If you're talking about marathon, even 2 seconds is what? It's a very close race. Even 5 seconds is a very close race. Relatively. You get what I'm saying? Okay? Now, sometimes what happens, you have a fa, but the fa does not show tartib, the fa rather shows tafsil. What does it show? Tafsil. And this is what we call, it came in hadith as well, at-tartib al-dhikri. For example, فَقَدْ سَأَلُوا مُوسَى أَكْبَرَ مِنْ ذَلِكَ. They asked Musa for something even more strange or even more demanding than that. Then they said no. Not then they said, أَرِنَ اللَّهَ جَهْرَةً. Show us Allah. We want to see Allah openly. No. First is what? Tafsila. سَأَلُوا مُوسَى أَكْبَرَ مِنْ ذَلِكَ is vague. They asked Musa for something more, something larger, something greater, something more miraculous than that. What is this? قَالُوا أَرِنَ اللَّهَ جَهْرَةً. So this is a tafsir of this. So you call this fast what? So not tartib in terms of the real world tartib, but in terms of tartib al-dhikri. Meaning basically it's a tafsir of a mujmal. You understand? Okay. And sometimes fa comes for sabab. For wakazahu Musa. Musa punched him and Musa slapped him. Then what happens? فَقَضَى عَلَيْهِ. He died. So that fa shows that this caused that. So those are the main meanings of what? Fa. You got it? Thumma. What does thumma show? Tartib, just like fa. But the difference between fa and thumma is what? Tarahi. Fa shows like no time in between at all, or very little time in relative aspect, relatively speaking. And thumma shows what? A lot of time. Or more time than what fa would normally show. Yes. Okay. For example, amatahu fa akhbara. Allah gave him death. I mean, Allah gives man death. Then Allah gives him a chance to, Allah puts him in the grave. So after death, immediately what happens? You go in the grave. So fa is what? Ta'qib. So tartib plus ta'qib. Then what happened? Thumma idha sha'a anshara. Then after when Allah wills, what Allah will do? Resurrect him. So between the death and the resurrection is what? Between being put in the grave and resurrection is a considerable time. That's why it comes as what? ثُمَّ إِذَا شَاءَ أَنْشَرَ. Do you understand? Yeah. Hatta. What does hatta show? Hatta shows ghaya, ending point. Okay? Now, this can come, like for example, hatta matla' al-fajr. Or, for example, قَرَأْتُ الْقُرْآنَ حَتَّى سُورَةَ النَّاسِ. I read the Quran all the way till Surah An-Nas, meaning the ending point. And the ending point is usually a part of what? The ma'tuf alayh. So قرأت القرآن حتى سورة الناس. Because this has to be a part of the ma'tuf. You get what I'm saying? Yeah? Right. But many times, the hatta is used in the meaning of like, not until, but rather even. So normally it's the meaning of until. Okay? I read the Quran until Surah An-Nas. Something be even. أي مات الناس حتى محمد صلى الله عليه وسلم. Everybody dies. People died. People have died. People continue to die. Even the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam died. So not trying to say he's the last one until him. That he's the last of what it means. What in terms of ta'zeem or tahqir. In terms of even the greatest of all man has what? Died. So like, you get what I'm saying? I say for example, I say, like, I want to belittle somebody. I say what? All the students pass, even Zaid. Bichara Zaid, he's not that able or capable, or he's lazy. One of the two. No Zaid in our class, but it's an example. Zaid is the worst example. We've got a son named Zaid, Bichara is always Daraba Zaid and Bakran. He's a zalim all the time. And he always gets the boots of all the butt of all the jokes. But anyways, so if Zaid, Bichara, he fails, everybody passed, even Zaid. So even that poor guy, even he passed. And if he was a clever guy, say, everybody failed, even Zaid failed. Even the clever, the brain box, even he failed. Do you understand? So you can have that meaning as well. Yeah? The particle we're not going to discuss it here because where did it come before? In muttasila, munqati'a, in istifham. Correct. It came in istifham. So there's no need to bring up discussion here again. Just came there, refer back there to the details that we discussed then. Oh. Oh, what's oh for? Between two things, choice. Labithna yawman aw ba'da yawm. They weren't sure when they woke up. So we stayed sleeping a day, half a day maybe. So you're unsure about two things, use oh. Okay? Right. You got it? Right. Lakin. What's lakin? Lakin is a harf atf only when the word after it is what? A mufrad. Mufrad. For example, ما كان محمد أبا أحد من رجالكم ولكن رسول الله وخاتم النبي. So after the mufrad. Mufrad meaning not a jumla. It's murakkab because obviously mudaf mudaf alayhi mudaf alayhi ma'tuf alayhi ma'tuf. But it's not a jumla. So then it becomes a ma'tuf. Correct? Yeah? However, if the sentence after it is what? Sorry, if the word of the ma'tuf or the thing after is what? A sentence. Then you say what? It's harfu ibtida. You must say it's harfu atf. For example, ala innahum humul mufsidun. La yash'urun is what? What's after lakin? La yash'urun. Isn't it? So because the jumla comes after it, this is harfu ibtida. This does not become ma'tuf. That's not ma'tuf. Why? Because it's a whole sentence. Lakin only operates as a harfu atf with a mufrad after it. The jumla after it becomes harfu ibtida. Harfu ibtida means isti'naf basically. So meaning links back to the previous sentence, but in Arab is finished. You got it? Right, moving on, we have bal. What is bal? Rather, but. So now bal is for idrab. What does idrab mean? One meaning of idrab that's applied here is i'rad. You want to turn away. So basically change. So there's two ways it can happen. Either you negate the first sentence, that's called, what's that called? Ibtal. Or you just change the topic. So let's go. So bal can come after, bal can be preceded by a single word or a sentence. If it has a sentence after it, then it has one or two purposes. One purpose is ibtal, one is intiqal. Abtala yubtilu, ibtala means to make null and make void. So when you do ibtal, basically what you're trying to say is the previous statement is null and void. For example, وَقَالُوا اتَّخَذَ الرَّحْمَنُ وَلَدًا سُبْحَانَهُ. They, meaning the various people, the Christians have taken Isa, it doesn't refer to them, but like generally, the Christians have taken Isa, the son of Allah. The kuffar of Makkah have taken what? The angels as the daughters of Allah. So Allah says, قَالُوا اتَّخَذَ الرَّحْمَنُ وَلَدًا سُبْحَانَهُ. Obviously, mahzuf here is what? Balhum. So after bal is a sentence, correct? And this sentence does what? It's saying basically, this sentence is false. That's not true. Not qalu, but ittakhadha Allahu waladan. This statement, ittakhadha ar-Rahmanu waladan, null and void. It's false. Allah did not take a walad. So this is what? Ibtal. Bal is for ibtal. Do you understand? And intaqala yantaqilu intiqal, to move away. Somebody dies, it says he's passed away. It's intaqala, meaning he's moved on from this world to the hereafter. Do you understand? So intiqal is when what happens, you have a jumla, but you don't want to negate the first sentence. You're just saying, okay, point taken, let's move on. قَدْ أَفْلَحَ مَنْ تَزَكَّى وَذَكَرَ اسْمَ رَبِّهِ فَصَلَّى. Yeah? بَلْ تُؤْثِرُونَ الْحَيَاةَ. If you say, no, this is negating this, that's false. It is true, not negating قَدْ أَفْلَحَ مَنْ تَزَكَّى وَذَكَرَ اسْمَ رَبِّهِ فَصَلَّى. You're saying, look, it is true, whoever purifies himself from shirk and all types of false beliefs and remembers the name of Allah, performs salah, then قَدْ أَفْلَحَ, he's successful. Point taken? But what's the problem? تُؤْثِرُونَ الْحَيَاةَ الدُّنْيَا وَالْآخِرَةُ خَيْرٌ وَأَبْقَى. So moving on from the previous. You're not nullifying it, because this is a true statement. قَدْ أَفْلَحَ مَنْ تَزَكَّى وَذَكَرَ اسْمَ رَبِّهِ فَصَلَّى. Here, اتَّخَذَ الرَّحْمَنُ وَلَدًا is false. It's not true. So this bal is for what here? Ibtal, to nullify the previous sentence. And this is what for? This bal is for intiqal, for death. Not for death. For what? Changing away death portion. This bal is for what? Changing the topic.
What was the translation there?
تُؤْثِرُونَ آثَرَ يُؤْثِرُ إِيثَارًا, to give preference. So this is a scenario you should actually, if you purify yourself, you'll be successful. But you are given purpose to the worldly life and you do not wish to make that sacrifice. And give up shirk and give up all these false beliefs. So it's like turning away from the first, moving on from the first conversation, or first topic. Ibtal. You see? Yeah? Very important. If not, if you get the wrong one. Bal can also come on a single word, a mufrad. Okay? When that happens, it shows what ibtal basically. Like, basically, if you say Ja'a Muhammadun bal Khalidun, basically means I made a mistake. I didn't even say Muhammad, I mean to say Ja'a Khalidun. It's almost like badalul ghalat. So, but it's not, you will never find this in Fasih Kalam. You might find it in spoken speech, a mistake when you say something, but you will never find it in poetry or somebody's Fasih Fusahan, the Balagah in their speech, because it's a mistake almost. You get what I'm saying? You'll find the ibtal and intiqal, because that's what you use in Fasih speech, not ala mufrad. So you never find a mufrad after bal in the Quran, or any of the poetry, because it's like a mistake almost. Unless they have some kind of particular tajahul, basically, pretending not to know. You get what I'm saying? Like, for example, you want to cuss somebody, you can say, I'm a bit rude to say that, but you want to cuss somebody, you can say, I don't know, you say something, you want to cuss somebody's car. You can say, is that a delivery truck? Oh, sorry, bal sayyaratuk. I thought it was a delivery truck. So how bad, how like ugly his car looks. You get what I'm trying to say? Not talking about your car, but generally speaking. That's it, no more list for you. Huh?
So you're saying that ibtal is for words when bal comes after a word?
No, when bal is followed by a sentence. Yeah, even after a word, but that's not using Fasih Kalam. That's idrab.
So wait, I'm a bit confused. I thought because we just said ibtal.
So look, let's summarize bal. So let's summarize bal, yeah? If you have bal, if it has a jumla after it, this occurs in proper speech. You can either be for ibtal, to say the previous statement is untrue, or it could be intiqal, saying what? Yes, the previous statement is true, but let's move on. Or it can be followed by what? It can be followed by a mufrad. In this case, it says that the previous word is incorrect. I made a mistake in saying that. So you don't get this in Fasih Kalam.
So what kalam do you get it?
Like spoken kalam, just like my mistake. Ra'aytu akhaka abaka. Bal get what I'm saying? I said Ra'aytu abaka bal akhaka. I saw your father, no. I saw your brother.
Or rather, I meant always.
Yeah, I made a mistake in saying that.
Okay.
So it wouldn't come unless I say, for example, you want to cuss somebody and you want to say, like, I don't know. You can, I don't want to use it a bit rude to say to them. You can get some kind of cuss, like simple cuss, cuss a car. Okay. Moving on. Generally speaking, the ma'tuf alay is going to be a fa'il, and the ma'tuf will also be a fa'il. Or the ma'tuf alay will be ism, and the ma'tuf is going to be ism. However, there are certain cases where you can have a difference. For example, Allah says in the Quran, أَوَلَمْ يَرَوْا إِلَى الطَّيْرِ فَوْقَهُمْ صَافَّاتٍ. What's that? Ism. وَيَقْبِضْ. Fail. This is hal. Do you not look to the birds above them? Safat, spreading their wings. وَيَقْبِضْ. And then flapping it. Now, again, why? So you understand how the alf is different. But why is the alf different? Rewind to Jumla Ismiya and Jumla Fi'liya. Jumla Ismiya shows what? Ism shows what? Thubut. So when birds fly, they're usually flapping or they usually have their wings spread? Most of the times. Most of the time they're spreading, innit?
When it's flying, innit?
When they're flying, they're spreading. When they build up speed, or then they flap. So the yaqbidna happens, it's tajaddud. You get it? They renew their flapping. And that doesn't occur all the time. And then when they saw fat, they just spread. And they're flying around, moving around. You get it? So you see how the balagh of the Quran works here? Safa safatina, yes. I don't know about them. Safa yasifu or safa yasufu. Yasfufna. And wayaqbidna. No, it's safat. Because why? When they spread their wings, it's thubut. For a long period, it stays spread. And then when they do yaqbidna, it's tajaddud. You understand? Yep, that's how the Quran.
But it's meaning based. I thought.
It's meaning based, but that's why you don't have both ismiya, both fi'liya, because you want to get the difference between the safat and yaqbidna. Because the safat is a different dalala than yaqbidna. Safat means like long term, they always have it spread for a long time, and then they do yaqbidna, they flap it for a few times, and they safat again. By changing the ismiya to fi'liya, you get this beautiful meaning. You understand? Tabarakallahu ahsanul khaliqin. Right. Now, just for this rounding off, the original rule is that ma'tuf alay and ma'tuf should both be separate words. Ja'a Zaydun wa Bakrun. Allah says in the Quran, wa wahabna lahu Ishaq and Yaqub. Two separate people. Correct? However, just that you will find this in a lot of books, is that you can have al-atf ala muradifihi. A synonym can be used after and. La yakhafu dhulman wa la hazma. They will not fear in the hereafter any oppression or any oppression. They both mean the same thing, but obviously repetition has two meanings, two benefits. One is ta'keed, and dhulm and hazm have a slight difference. So, but in theory, they're both the same thing, they're not explicitly different. So for example, like, it may be like this. This is dhulm, this is hazm. Slightly different. But the point of this is that you can have so even if it's the same meaning, it gives ta'keed. It's a way of speaking the Arabs. Follow it? Acha. Sometimes you can also have atf, where you mention what first? The khas first, and then the am afterwards. For example, فَمَنْ يَمْلِكُ مِنَ اللَّهِ شَيْئًا. Who can stop Allah in أَرَادَ أَنْ يُهْلِكَ الْمَسِيحَ ابْنَ مَرْيَمَ. If he wishes to do what? Destroy Masih ibn Maryam and his mother and everyone in the earth. So aren't these two included in that? So look, so the ma'tuf is am, which includes the ma'tuf alay. So that can happen. Opposite way around, the ma'tuf alay is am, man kana aduwwan lillahi wa malaikatihi wa rasulihi. And who's part of the malaika? Jibreel wa Mikael. So you have atf al-am. Yeah? Okay? And sometimes you can have the exact same, similar to this, but here's like two words with similar meanings. You can actually have the ma'tuf the exact same thing. قالوا نعبد ما تعبد أم كنتم شهداء إذ حضر يعقوب الموت. Were you there when Yaqub was dying? When death came unto him? قال بنيه ما تعبدون من بعدي. He said to his children, what are you going to worship after me? They said, نعبد إلهك. You're going to worship your Lord. وإله آبائك. Who's that Lord? Who's the same thing. وإله آبائك إبراهيم وإسماعيل وإسحاق إلها واحدا. Why? Ta'keed, emphasis. But it has a faida. It's something you can do. Do you understand? Any other questions? Yeah? So that's atf. Okay? And the last one you have left is badal, inshallah. So we finish it off, and that's it, inshallah. Then this chapter will be finished. Subhanallah, bihamdi, subhanakallahumma wa bihamdika, nashhadu an la ilaha illa anta, wa nastaghfiruka wa natubu ilayk.